high school English taking your aura? Is class causing you negative aura? Or even worse, are you in an aura debt because of English class? Well, fear not. With my 15 years of high school teaching experience, coupled with my newfound knowledge of aura, I'll teach you 7 ways to maximize yours. And by the end of this video, you're gonna have so much aura, you're basically gonna be giving it away to your friends for free. And stick around to the end, because I'll show you one bonus tip that will literally 2 times every piece of advice I give you here. Let's dive in. The first 2 ways to gain aura in English class have to do with reading. One will be outside of class, and the second will be in class. So let's figure out the first couple ways you can gain aura in English class. Students always ask me, how do I get better at reading? And the answer is simple. You gotta read, but for your own enjoyment. Spending some time throughout the day, I'd recommend around 20 minutes, but the more time the better, will really help you improve your reading slowly but surely. And it doesn't matter what you read, whether it's comic books, manga, Sports Illustrated magazines, the classics, sci-fi, whatever. Just find something that you're interested in reading and get started. Bring that screen time down from 7 hours a day to 6 hours and 40 minutes and fill up that extra 20 minutes with some reading. Now that you're starting to read for enjoyment, I can already see that you're paying off that negative aura debt. Let's keep going with one way you can actively read in class to keep gaining that aura.
Reading for pleasure is obviously a lot different than the close reading that's required in a high school English class. So what you have to do for in-class reading is annotate the hell out of everything you read or watch or discuss in class. Annotations are simply just writing down your thoughts as you read. This allows you to hold on to your thinking so that you don't forget for tests, quizzes, essays, etc. If you've never annotated before, what I would recommend doing is just these 4 things. Summarize some of the main ideas, ask questions that you're unsure of, make connections to what you've read in the past or to your own life, and lastly, judge or give your opinion on the stories, texts, videos that you're reading. If you jot down these ideas, I guarantee your marks in English class are going to skyrocket because you have a lot to write about for essays, discussions, or whatever it is that you're doing in class.
I think your negative aura debt is being paid off. That's basically 2 aura in the bank. The next 3 ways to gain aura are really with what students struggle the most with in English class, and that is writing. So many students have the not for marks, not worth doing mindset when it comes to writing, and surprise, they're shocked when they get their essays back and they get like a 60 or a 50. You have to do the low stakes writing, the stuff that's not worth marks for improving. It's like practice before the big sports game. You just have to do it. And if you don't really like writing at school, write for your own enjoyment. Write fan fiction, write articles, blogs, do whatever you have to actually practice. Just like reading for enjoyment will help you with your reading, writing for enjoyment and doing the low stakes work is going to help you get those higher grades. Practice gains huge aura, I promise. But what happens when you need to gain aura when writing essays? Let's find out. Students always ask, what's the first thing I should write when I start my essay? The answer isn't the first sentence or the introduction. It's your thesis. A thesis gives you a goal to work on. It tells you everything the essay is going to be about so you can focus on that end goal. A good metaphor is like being lost in the woods. If you don't have a thesis statement, you don't know where you're going. You don't know if this writing is good or bad or on topic. But once you have that thesis statement written out, you've got a path that you can follow from the beginning to the end, because as long as what you're writing is related to and develops that thesis statement, you're on the right track and the writing will be a lot easier. Don't get confident. Now that you have a strong thesis and essay, you're not out of the woods yet. Students often lose aura when it comes to editing, so let's see how we can prevent that.
Teachers not giving feedback before assignments is a major problem I find in high school English. So if you want to earn some more aura, what you have to do is find other people that can give you advice on your essays and assignments. And the easiest way to find those people is probably in your phone. Just text your friends and ask if you could make a study group. If you have an essay coming up, why just look it over yourself when you can have 2 or 3 other friends start a feedback circle and you can all give ideas and help to each other. This will allow other people to look at your writing and for you to give feedback to others, which ultimately improves your own writing. And from there, I guarantee you, you will feel more confident because you've taken a few days, you've gotten a lot more feedback than normal because they're going to catch spelling errors, grammatical errors, awkward phrasing, all those problems that crop up again and again in student writing. This is probably the easiest and best thing you can do to gain aura in high school English. All it takes is a few text messages to get this friend group going.
5 tips down, 2 to go. We've talked about reading, we've talked about writing, and now I'm going to give you 2 tips that are going to give you huge aura when it comes to speaking in front of a class, which I know from my experience is one thing students struggle a lot with. So let's get into those tips. So here's my absolute best hack for gaining huge aura during presentations. Most students get really nervous and keep practicing again and again, reading over their presentation, but the one problem they have is they don't really know what the audience can see. So what you're going to actually do is literally take your computer or phone, whatever you have, and record yourself. Record yourself, and then after you're done, watch back so you can actually see what the audience sees. And by stepping out of your own head and actually seeing yourself on camera, you can look for things like speed. Are you talking too fast or slow? What about your volume? Are you too loud, too soft? Do you seem poised and confident up there? Or are you a little bit nervous? I promise, by recording yourself and actually watching it back, you're gonna have 10 times the amount of feedback than you would imagining the presentation in your own head. And that 10 times amount of feedback, I promise, is gonna actually help you get grades and confidence in presentations that you never thought possible. If you found this information helpful, please consider giving the channel a subscribe down below. It would be the highlight of my teaching career. Thanks, and let's get back to earning some more aura. Just like my advice for writing and reading, if you want to get better at discussions, you just gotta talk. Raise your hand in class to answer questions. Do this a couple times a week, but ideally once a day, and you're gonna get over that fear of talking in front of your classmates. If that's really too hard for you to start, instead of just texting your friends, asking them what's going on, just talk to them in person. Make that eye contact, talk to them, have a conversation, and I guarantee your confidence is gonna go through the roof. And here's that bonus tip I was promising. For each of these 7, you have to develop this one mindset and habit: consistency. That's it. You just have to do these small things day after day after day after day. Reading for 20 minutes once isn't gonna make you a better reader. You have to do 20 minutes over a few months. Same thing with writing. Just because you did one low stakes thing in class doesn't mean your mark jumps from a 70 to a 95. You have to constantly write. Just because you raised your hand once in class doesn't mean that now all of a sudden your confidence is going to skyrocket and your fears are going to diminish. You have to do this again and again and again. Working consistently, doing these things weekly, is going to ingrain these habits so deeply that you can't do anything but earn aura on a daily basis in English class. If you found yourself struggling to gain aura in high school English, then you might also have some trouble with tests and quizzes. If that's the case, click this video here where I tell you how to legally use ChatGPT to earn grades you never thought possible in high school English. Till the next one, take care.